Good evening, everybody. Well, anybody. You might not have tuned in yet. I'll give it a couple of minutes just for people to get connected. Sorry for the slightly late start. I've been eating an ice cream. We're on location today. Well, we're in the conservatory at my house. I've got some company, haven't we? Come on. Dog's here. Having a nice lie down, as she often does these days. Knocking on a bit now is Dotty. Went for a walk today, haven't we, earlier? A nice little walk. And now having a rest. Anyway, yes, Super League evening silent. Happy birthday for yesterday, and well done on your PB. We've got 17 people tuning in, and 18 now, and there will be the option to watch this later as well, because it saves it, records it, and I'll post it on YouTube as well for those people that don't have Facebook, so people can watch it at leisure. He doesn't look very interested. Who, me? Thanks. The dog, it's a she, if that's what you mean, Vicky. But the dog doesn't need to be interested, because she knows all the scores. She knows who's top and who did what, because I've shared it with her on our walk, you see, so it's nothing new for her to pick up on. But there you go. Alright, we're up to 22. Give it a minute or two more just to see what happens, and then we'll go through better than the bill. I used to be in the bill, apparently. I used to look like Reg Hollis. Probably still do look like Reg Hollis. I used to get called Reg at work, one of my old workplaces years ago. Right, anyway, yeah, we've got scores on the doors, got individual bits and bobs, a couple of transfer news. If anyone's interested in that, obviously the people that have been transferred will be interested. And you might have seen on Facebook, I haven't posted it email wise yet, I will do, put the team scores up on the board, and foolishly I've not written them down, so I've got to do it from memory. But you can all see it online anyway, so you know who's top. So anyway, we're up to 24, nearly a quarter of a century, just one more person, 25, there we go, 25 in, we'll start then. Right, so welcome everybody to the roundup for the week of Super League 2020. We have loads of fantastic performances this week. I'm not just saying that to give it some sort of sales pitch. We genuinely have. Writing the report this week is going to be quite tricky, because you want to mention everybody really. There's so many good performances, but PBs, it's just there. And when you think about 5k, I mean, loads of people have done 5ks. If it was like a 7-mile race, I could understand there'd be lots of PBs, because people, they don't come up very frequently. You don't get a chance to run them very often. And, you know, the last one you might have done might have been 3 years ago, and you're much better running now than you were back then. But 5Ks, I mean, they're rife really, especially with park runs. So to see people beating their personal bests in this format in such great numbers is really quite impressive. It makes me feel it was worthwhile exercise putting this tournament on, even though we're only 1 week into it so far. Hopefully it won't all go horribly wrong. The teams, well, I've done the tables. It was actually quite close by and large across all the teams. The top is Hannah Craig's team, Cool Runnings, then Maggie's team second. I think Dave Jackson's team was third. But there really wasn't a lot to choose between most of the sides. So I would say that just because you're not top does not mean that you're up against. It's not like in the LRRL where badges are absolutely brilliant and just storm ahead at the top and no one can touch us because we're that good. It really is quite wide open. So just because Hannah's team's come top this week, they could equally come bottom next week, because things are quite close. But well done to Hannah's team and everyone in it, because you had the best results aggregate versus your respective handicaps. The handicaps might change a little bit this week as well, because again we've got some more fresh data coming in from people, but they might not change much, and they might not change for everybody, but we'll see. One rule I wanted to bring in was that teams need to field at least 7 runners to constitute a team, but I think that shouldn't be too difficult. We've had a couple of people not being able to make it. and a couple of people that had to sadly withdraw. But we have got a subs bench of people eager to get involved in the team action. So I've made 4 changes this week, which I'll go through now for you all. If you're one of the people that have been substituted out because you've not run so far, doesn't stop you from joining the competition. Just you won't be in one of the teams unless another vacancy becomes available. But Sarah Vine, unfortunately, has had to withdraw from the rest of the competition. She has run the first 2 legs, and she did really well actually. I think there's about a 6-second difference between the two efforts, so she's done brilliant. But she's not really going to be able to continue. Her place has gone to Jason Clover. Jason was one of many runners who ran a PB this week. He did 22:51, I believe. He ran the week before as well, but I think he'd just run the London Marathon that week, so it was quite a big jump in improvement. But PB's a PB, or it's better than a PB in some ways, because technically these aren't PBs, but they are the best that you've ever run, so it's a moot point. I don't want to get into arguments over it. It's semantics really, isn't it? Anyway, Jason's come in for Sarah on that team, whichever that team is, I can't remember. Forgive me, I've got an age on people. I've been up since 5, I'm tired. And I've cut a tree down, and I've run a 12-mile run, and I've had some segments off people. Tired. Kerry Clover is also back in the action. She is running in Dave Jackson's team. She's replacing Adi Payne, who ran a marathon, I think, this week. But if you want to take part in future weeks, absolutely fine. Just knock yourself out, send me your time, and let me know how you get on, and we can pop you in as an unaffiliated runner, or unattached, as it were. Angela Stallings in the USA is coming into Steph's team for Matt Scarsbrook. Matt hasn't been able to run the first 2 weeks, but again, Matt, if you want to run next week, that's absolutely fine. You go for it, send me your time, whatever else. But Angela will be taking his place in the team element. People who've run this week, so like those 3 just mentioned, their scores from this week won't count towards the team total. They will from next week onwards. So obviously they didn't know which team they're going to be running. It wouldn't be fair for the teams if someone just sort of parachuted in. But anyway, and the last change is Becky Harris. She is keen to get involved, and she will be taking the place in Rob Boland's team of Anne-Marie Matthews, who hasn't run the first 2 weeks. But again, Anne-Marie, if you are coming back next week, that's fine. Knock yourself out. Let me know your time, and you can be running against another unattached runner. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you this week. Coming this week is a 5k, if you weren't already aware. We will change, this will be the last week in succession of a 5k, because we've done 3 on the bounce now. Next week we will be changing the distance, not telling you what to just yet. It won't be too far, because we have got people coming back from injury, etc. So we don't want to be putting everyone on half marathons, because it's not going to be fair. People who won't be comfortable doing a half marathon or might be able to do a half marathon. So we want to keep it as inclusive as we possibly can. We probably will do a mile at some point, whether that's the following week or a bit later in the tournament. You'll wait and see. And we might do a split one as well, where some of the runners can do a longer distance, because I've looked at the personnel in each team, and there are enough experienced runners that are comfortable over a longer distance at the moment to be able to sort of, like, say, do 4 of you doing like a 10-miler, and then the others do something shorter. But again, more on that nearer the time. So you've got 4 substitutions. We have the teams. I'll go through some PBs because there were some outstanding performances across the board. We had 4 people go sub 18 in the race, which is pretty impressive. We had 11 people go sub 20. I remember, keep an eye on the Badgers results all the time, because it's my job really on writing them up in the newspaper and things. And there's not that many. There's quite a lot of people in the sub 20 club, but not that many. It's quite a difficult sort of group to sort of get in, as it were. And we had 11 in this one week. It's fantastic. There's some people in there for the very first time. I think David Grant broke 20 minutes for the first time, which was excellent. He ran the right distance this week as well, so well done, Dave. But I think he probably would have done it last week as well, quite potentially. So he's a man in form, one to watch. We had Glyn Broadhurst do 17:42. That's an exceptional time and an exceptional performance, because Glyn, like me, is knocking on a bit. I hope you don't mind me saying it. And also, he's got a lot of 5Ks behind him. It's not like he's only done it twice or 3 times. He's done stacks of parkruns. So he's got a lot of history to try and overturn there, and he's done it. So fair play to him. He might not do it this week because he did a marathon. For those who don't know, he did a marathon down in Devon somewhere, I think. And he ended up following the ultra runners by accident and ended up doing 34 miles instead of 26, so he's probably a little bit tired, I would imagine. Jimmy Jewis, he did 1941. He's back in form as well. Excellent Borough star. Had a little stint down the Adders. He loves that, doesn't he? Yeah, he did well. So did Luke Neal, 1910. I think that's 2 weeks running. Luke's knocked in excellent performances. Carl Savage, another one to watch. He's in good form. Another PB for him, 2026. Doug Ladkin back in the sub 20. Well, in the sub 20 club now, 1951. Excellent running from him and good effort from Doug. Karen Draper, should have mentioned her last week, playing the captain. He didn't tell me, but that's 2 weeks in succession now that she's achieved a personal best over 5k. So again, she's working. She has been working hard of late, and it's starting to pay off now in a time. So well done to Karen. Simon Curry, a birthday boy, already mentioned, 22-24. Excellent stuff from the V40 Courageous captain. Sam Starkey of the V40, I think he was 4th V40 in the LRRL Lockdown League, did very well there. He did 17:49, so well done Sam, another excellent performance. David Buck, 25:57, another PB, excellent stuff. Mark Cox equalled his PB. Jason Clover, I think I've said that one already. Another one that's worth mentioning, it wasn't the PB, but Justin Hayward, he incurred a penalty this week, but he ran so well, even with the penalty, that he managed to feature in the top 20 against handicap. So it was a good performance from Justin, even though it wasn't a PB. With the penalties, I've pinged 3 people this week. I don't for 1 minute think anybody was deliberately trying to cheat, but the rules are that you can't run down an overall downhill gradient, or excessive downhill gradient, and there are 3 people that we deemed to have sort of broken that rule. So they have been added, you get a small time penalty, well, between 1, 3 and 5 minutes, depending on the severity of the gradient. So just 3 this week. Hopefully we'll be on next week. Just keep an eye on it, and captains, keep an eye on your team, just to check the route. Thanks for the captains again for this week. They're helping getting the results to me on time in a nice orderly fashion, and also for I've got a couple of checkers as well that are helping me check people's runs on Strava for any misdemeanors and errors and stuff like that. So yeah, that was all good. So I'm happy with all the help that we're getting, and it's helping this competition a little bit more smoothly. Right, individual. I think I've gone through the teams. The winner of the race, as it were, well, in terms of absolute speed, it was the same as last week. Kept it in Badsley with Aaron and Nivette being the fastest 2. But this isn't the winner of this race. Isn't necessarily the fastest. It's the person who is better than their handicap by the biggest amount. Or if no one beats their handicap, it's the one who gets closest to it from a sort of like, trying to catch it up point of view. Anyway, our winner was an unattached runner, and it was Angela Stallings, who was our top performing runner. Well done, Angela, if you're watching, because I know there's a time gap, but it'll be middle of the afternoon, presumably where you are. For those who don't know, Angela hasn't been very well lately, but she is back running again now, which is excellent news. And obviously, she's running particularly well because she's improved no end, and she's a worthy winner of this race. Second place was Charlene Dunn. She had an excellent run. She's not long come back after having a baby, so she's performed exceptionally well. And her partner Dave McGowan, he I think was the second fastest man overall, again not by much from Aaron. So it's a fast household there. I think the little one's going to be have good running genes. And Hannah Craig was our 3rd fastest lady. She was 4th overall. 3rd was Mick Bailey, and he was the top man in terms of the setup, with Stuart Batcher and Adam McElhone making up the top 3 men, 5th and 6th overall. So I think that's pretty much about it for me. What I was going to do, I'll circulate the race, not everyone's times. So I was going to do well, you can see all your times, but I won't necessarily put your positions and things like that. And I'll do an individual table at some point, probably a little bit later on in the tournament. We've got like 2 or 3 weeks worth of scores, because we can have like a little individual league for everybody. But what I was going to do, I was going to send out the top 20. So if you're in the top 20, you've done well. Because the thing is, if you've got a league of 1 to 88, or how many people have got in the teams, or 90 on with the unaffiliated runners, there is going to be somebody at the bottom. And I don't want anyone to feel bad because because they're last or something. It doesn't necessarily mean that they've run poorly. In fact, I think the vast majority of people have run exceptionally well this week. And it could be that you sort of like come 80% of the way down the list, but you've actually knocked out a really, really good time. So I didn't want to sort of disillusion anybody or disappoint anybody if they see their name sort of like a bit lower down in the table. So I'll keep it to the top 20 to try and keep it positive. And I think that's about it really. So yeah, this week, good luck everybody. You've got a 5k to get stuck into. I'll be back here same time. Well, I might not be in the conservatory, I might be in a different part of the house. Or out on location, who knows, but probably in the house, to be honest. It's great telly, this, isn't it? So one take as well, this one take, it's not rehearsed, just in case you thought it was. So yeah, I'll be back here same time next week. 5k is the thing to go for. If you can't run because you feel injured or you're not very well, that's fine, because the way that the team's scores are calculated, it's an average of your team's individual characteristics. So long as we've got like more than one runner going out, well, at least 7 people out of the 11 performing, then that's absolutely fine. Because I'm expecting people to miss the odd week here and there because they're either injured or poorly, or there's something that's come up that week and they're just not been able to get out and stuff. So it's life, none of us are full-time pros. We've all got other things going on, so this is just a bit of fun to keep you interested on the sidelines, and while we wait until we hopefully get back racing at some point, probably not this year, but maybe next year. And slightly off the subject of the Super League, I just want to say well done to Mark Repton, who probably isn't watching because he's not in the competition. But Mark ran a 1:21 half marathon today. I can't remember where it was now, but that's a brilliant time. And from seeing where Mark has come from when he started, he was quite nippy when he started, but he just goes to show you put the work in and the improvement slowly comes over time. And he was I'm sure I remember him breaking 1:30 at some point. Now he's gone 1:21, which is an exceptional time. So well done to our men's vice captain Mark for a fantastic run today, wherever that one was. Right, that's me all wrapped up. I'm going to go to bed now, I think. I'll post this on YouTube. It might not be until the morning. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Good luck in the next round, and we'll catch up with you all soon. So there you go. See you anon.